What's up guys? Welcome back. Today is wiring. We're gonna start running. I put the ECU in there. So this is the kind of package that I did last year. So I did the whole engine harness, whatever controls that the ECU has to do, fans, nitrous, everything. That harness is all new. I did it last year. I don't have a bulkhead fitting. I don't know, I just didn't bother making one. So I'll probably put a little grommet here and make it a little pretty. But yeah, all these wires are in good shape. This was all done last year. So all I have to do is kind of change a few changes for the new car. Like for example, the nitrous heater doesn't reach because the nitrous bottle is gonna be over here. A few small things. I had a bulkhead connector on the transmission. So that's right here. So the transmission had its own loom. So if you see here, the laser sensor, the trans brake, the dump valve, the line pressure, charge pressure, everything was on its own bulkhead. So you just, I just put a bulkhead, probably put it over here somewhere. There's a plate that goes over here. You've probably seen it. Put it in. Ooh, try not to scratch anything. That's in place. It's got a couple of Zeus's here. Yeah, so that's kind of where it sits. The dash is around here. So I gotta put this bulkhead connector, I don't know where. I'm thinking somewhere here. So then everything that goes to the transmission connects on the other side, and then you just every time you remove the trans or something, everything is kind of separate. Yeah, so I gotta do that. I'd like to clean a little bit here. I don't know, the dash is here, you won't really see much of it, but it's kind of best I could do. It's got these fuses here. So there's relays and fuses for everything that is controlling. Big thanks to ProTunerz. I'll leave the link in the description. He supplied the relay boxes and some of the wiring for here, so I want to thank him for that. These guys also have all these new connectors. So if you're using connectors like this for camshaft, for all the OEM stuff, like he has all these connectors. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can follow that. What else? I made this. So since we removed the steering column, you probably noticed that the steering is only that little bar there. So there's no key. There's no there's nothing to start the car now. So I had to make something to be able to start it. So I made this. So this switch here will be ignition. So you literally just press it and the ignition turns on. The ECU is going to be controlling the functions of the car. So this would be to start the engine, so to crank it over. The ignition, this one, what it does, it shuts the engine off but keeps the ignition on. So what I do is after a pass, I shut the engine off. You press this and it turns the engine off, and then you press this and you can turn the fans and the water pump on. This is why I have that. It will turn the lights on from here, so I'm gonna have to wire up something to the relays. But yeah, this will fit. Where's the panel? This would fit here. Like that. There. So everything's accessible. This one here is for the steering button. So that would be this guy. It's the steering button. So I'm gonna have to put another button there. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna do that. So this would be bump, and then the button on the right would have to be trans brake. And those both will go to that connector. And that connector goes here. This one is the Ethernet for the Motec. Motec uses a Cat5 cable. So whenever you need to take the log, you just plug it in there. So that's kind of an extension to the ECU, so that way everything's in the front. What else? So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna start on the wiring. I have to cut that hole for the bulkhead. I gotta figure out where that goes. I weighed a bunch of stuff. So the doors, they weigh 41 pounds each bare. So I'm guessing the doors are gonna be about 40 pounds savings in total. And then the hatch, that's 61 pounds. So I'm guessing another 25 pounds saving there or more. So doors and hatch might be about 80 pounds of savings. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so let's get to it. I'm gonna start playing up with wiring and I'll show you later how it looks. So day 2, I'm gonna switch things around a little bit because I'm working on different projects at the same time. The wiring, I have to order some insulation, so we're gonna pause there and maybe continue another video. So I figured let's start the fire stuff today. So I have to run the fire hose from here all the way to here. So there's gonna be 2 nozzles there aiming towards the engine bay. You're gonna have a nozzle here that's gonna aim towards the injectors, a nozzle aiming towards the turbo, and a nozzle down there that's aiming towards my feet somehow. So I have these fire nozzle fittings, and there's some hardline there. It's aluminum hardline. I mean, they're not ideal. This is not the best. Ideally, you would have anything that doesn't have rubber in it. But this is a kit that I got from JRP. It's a Sparkle kit. That's why you see here, this is the Sparkle one. It works. I mean, it should work. I mean, it's gonna be hardwired on the firewall. So we're gonna drill a hole and we're gonna screw it in there. So let me run some lines and I'll show you how I did it. So I mounted them. So I got one nozzle over there, there's one nozzle there, one nozzle here. I tried to run the hardline backwards and sure enough, I don't have enough hardline. So I ran it this way here, so I need to put a P-clip here, but this hardline is not long enough, so I tried to use the one from last year and it didn't reach. So I ordered another one. So I ordered a new one that's from Sparco, a replacement hardline, and I'll have to replace from here. It goes under the car. I probably can't see up there, it's too dark. But yeah, it's gonna run from here, goes down, it runs on that rail, and then it goes through that firewall there. It goes directly here and connects there. Yeah, I don't have enough line. So unfortunately, we'll have to put that aside and wait till I get the replacement, hopefully next week. But yeah, so they're screwed right in the firewall there. Nice and clean. This one obviously shoots directly in the injectors. That shoots to the what do you call it? To the turbo. I mounted the CO2. That's where it's gonna sit. I need a secondary regulator. That's going to be for the boost control unit, which is this one. Sorry, this is going to be for the shocks. So the shocks are going to get air, and they change the setting. So when there's air applied, they get one rebound setting, and when there's no air, they get a different rebound setting. The ECU will control this mag valve. This is a special mag valve that's rated 250 psi. You can't just use a regular mag valve. So yeah, I'll have to run a line from the CO2 to the mag valve, and then there's going to be another one going to the M&M shifter, and another one that's going to come here that's going to connect to the boost controller. I mounted the brakes, so I'm gonna have to start running. Ignore these are not gonna be there, but there's gonna be hardline running. I'm waiting on Vibrant to get me those lines. So I think I'm gonna go to the firewall. We'll cross to that side towards the left front, and then here will be just a T. Probably gonna add a line lock to the fronts, and then we go down here to the rear. It goes that way and it goes backwards. So remember the Lexan? You put some stickers there. So I put my name. If you guys don't know, I live in Canada, but I grew up in Malta. That's a Maltese flag. This is the permanent number that I've always used. My buddy Alex, he's from Jamaica, and he's telling me that that's a lucky number. So I've been using it for years and always had good luck with it. So we stick with that. I added the second button here on the steering. So now it has two buttons. So one will be for bump. The other one on the right will be for trans brake. What else? So I'm getting the truck ready to go meet the guy in the US to part all the parts. So I took the hood apart. I removed the carbon piece for the hood, the one for the exhaust, and everything is loaded in the truck. You're gonna not believe how all this thing fits in here. So there's a hatch, there's two doors, there's a hood, there's the door liners there, the door inserts, spoiler. Oh my god, there's all sorts of stuff. Wiring, there's a steering rack back there. Steering column. So yeah, so that's gonna go to the States, and then a friend of mine is gonna go, and he's gonna come back with carbon doors, carbon hood, and a Lexan for the hatch. So we were debating if we're gonna paint this stuff, like am I gonna paint this color coded, or is the door gonna be painted, the hood. So I talked to my paint guy, and he's advising me that if I paint pieces, it's probably not gonna match. So it's gonna stay carbon. I don't really care. It's gonna be all sorts, you know, the door is gonna be carbon, but carbon looks good. It's just from far it looks like black. Yeah, so we'll stop this video over here, and I'll wait for more parts to come, and then we'll do another video. Hopefully we'll get the brake stuff from Vibrant, and we can do a good video on that, and we'll mount the doors probably on Saturday. Okay guys, subscribe. Take care.